So Susie, would you like to continue?
I will. A unifying equation. Young Stephen Hawking meets Jane, his wife-to-be, and introduces himself as a cosmology. What's cosmology, she asks. He replies, the religion for the intelligent atheist. What do cosmologists worship, she persists. A single unifying equation that explains everything in the universe. A Theory of Everything, the movie. Upon seeing the first word of the Bible as... I'll let you read that one.
Well, you know, those letters. Let's just keep it at that for now.
Okay. I must decide how to read it. Exactly. Since the Torah scroll has no glyphs for the vowels, just consonants and semi-consonants, I have two options. Bereshit for in the beginning, or Barashit for created six. While translating in the beginning makes sense for my linear mind, the created six translation does not, which is how I dismiss it.
All right. So does that make complete sense? Let's take it step by step. The Torah scroll has no glyphs for vowels. So it's not like English.
So there's some filling in the blank.
Exactly. So it's super interesting that the Hebrew Torah would let the reader interpret the text at the level of consciousness that the reader is at. You know, it's like this is true for any book. I'm sure that there are books that you love that you've read several times, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And each time you read them, you're like, wow, I had not seen that before. And this is why, like now multiply it by the perception that each single word can be read in many ways. The first one in two obvious ways. But yeah, go ahead now.
This is also true with movies. Every time you see something that you had missed the previous time, like if you rewatch a movie.
Yes.
But then doesn't that mean that when you know, with the phrase when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So if someone is ready to receive that message, then that message will find a way to make it into the correct way of seeing it.
Right on. And rather than correct, I would
Not
say
correct, like
a more expensive way.
Yes. Or like the at the frequential level that they're at.
Right, exactly. So it's just like quantum physics that looks at the observer creates reality. The observer makes a choice to see in the physical world this or that. And you can't separate that which is seen out there from that which is in here. It's pretty much the evolution of the in here that allows us to see something bigger and bigger and bigger out there.
As above, so below.
Exactly. So the Torah is perfect for that. And I suspect that this is why this is the text that has had the most commentaries written on it, because it's infinite. It keeps on giving you a new way to look at it. So the hypothesis that Michael and I are serving is, wait a minute, maybe there's a code here, maybe there's a meta language here that would allow us to vibrate with the energy of enough. And once we're there, we can have health in relationships and find the partner we wish to find, in career, in health, in spirituality. The sky is the limit. But what this equation does is to explain to us that there is a way to look at life by which to understand our own creativity. Okay? So let's continue, unless any of you have a question, of course.
And yet, here are two facts which validate the second translation, as if echoing the first word of the Bible's first chapter. The last word of the same chapter is hashishi for the sixth. Moreover, in between the first word and the last word are staged the 6 days of creation.
Okay. Are we on the same page here? Does this make sense to you?
Yes, I'm just, in my mind, the way this is kind of like cementing, it's like, it feels like technology being
Good.
built, right? Like you built something.
Excellent. And
Yeah.
that's it. Absolutely. So please continue.
When I open up to the sheer beauty of the mathematical intent that pervades the beginning, middle, and end of Genesis' first chapter, and ultimately of the Hebrew alphabet, I realize that it is not the world, but the Word that was created in 6 days. The more literate I am in reading what I really want, the better positioned I am to understand the law of attraction.
Okay. So explain to us, like speak it in your own words. It is not the world that was created in 6 days. It is the word. How do you explain that?
Well, I have two main thoughts on this. Like, the way I'm organizing this again in my brain is like coding, right? So like you code something and then you see it appear on the screen in a way, right?
I love that.
So that's my first thought. My second thought is the more literate I am at reading what I really want. So it's not that I have to know what's happening outside. I have to really know myself and understand the dynamic within myself so that I then can use that coding to put it out there.
Beautiful. Love the way you explained it.
And to tie it to what Anna said earlier, to be illiterate is also to be unconscious.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily bad. It's just I'm not conscious of why I'm doing it. And the answer to it is literacy.
Would also that tie to sixth? I'm thinking of I'm also thinking about, I don't know if this is relevant, but the chakras. And although I'm thinking that the fifth one would be the throat chakra, but the sixth one would be the third eye.
Right.
So consciousness. And then the word, because we speak things into reality.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, two things about what you're saying, which is very intuitive. Traditionally, in Hinduism, and it is the same in Judaism, the tree of life, the Hindu tree of life, has 7 chakras, not 6, not 8, 7. Now, there are other dimensions than the tree of life, clearly, which is why there are some transpersonal chakras, chakras that go beyond the personal. But at the personal level, whether east or west, there are 7 of them. Now, when you look at the 7, it's really interesting that it's 3 against 3. So in other words, they're created 6. the center of it being the heart chakra. So now, just like you had Paradise Lost, let's go back there for a moment. You see, you have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and this is day 7. Now, if this was the chakras, you would have the heart, because the goal of the tree of life is first to be coherent in our heart. When our heart is coherent, and I am certain that Dr. Joe would completely agree with what is being said. When the heart is coherent, everything opens up. The throat opens up. Suddenly I have the power to say what I truly want. The third eye opens up. There's no more fear of the other world because I know I am in love. Obviously, the lower chakras, the root, the sex, the solar plexus, find their health as long as my heart is fully open. So this is an example of how the word was created in 6 days. Even the word chakra was created in 6 days when I understand that the core of all chakras is the heart. Raise your hand if that makes sense. So, Amanda, that doesn't make sense to you? Oh, good. Susie?
When you say that, can you... Are you kind of saying like that it connects both sides?
Yes.
Instead of having it be like this, it's more like connect in
Yes.
the middle? Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha.
Yeah. Is it you, Anna, that spoke of the heart as not being broken? I forgot someone today spoke of the heart.
Oh yeah, the heart doesn't break, only ego does.
Okay. So the heart is never split. It's always whole. Male, female, at the same time. Okay? Now, the other thing of the way we create the world with our words, you know, there are words that I taught myself to either not say, or when I say them, to add the word deception intended. Like I'm trying to quit smoking. Or you're inviting someone to a party and they're going to tell you, oh, okay, I'll try to come. How different the reality is it from, I'm here, I'm coming, it's on my calendar.
Yep.
Okay, so trying is one of those deceptive words. Hoping is another one. I hope this, I'm going to get well. Well, think again, because right now you're creating unwellness. Okay? So